Alright, we're back on Grim Nasty TV. Today we're going to take a look at the status update as to where I'm at and how I got there so I can share all my steps and then tell you what I did to get there so people can do it on their own. Alright, so initially you want to start out by prying the eyes open and hold your head up until the sun and yourself can draw your DMT spine and raise up the pineal gland from what appears to be sunken into the back of the neck. So when you were little, everything was like down like that. But when you grew, it stayed atrophied because of whatever you ate had a psychoactive, like heat-seeking type element to it. So it searches out heat almost as if it had a conscious protocol to itself, and it keeps on doing this. So everything that you get and everything you're supposed to do makes it go back. For example, if your lips get chapped, you'll notice that there's a lot of what appears to be skin and residue that you can scrape off the lip, and it's kind of like this yellowy kind of, it's nothing but glue. Whenever you detox, your lips turn into what feels like an electrical, like donut ring. It's really strange. It's like, I did that today actually. And the days before, the glue and all that stuff was coming out of the lips, and I kept wiping it with like a shop towel just because it's real abrasive. And it literally makes your lips turn on. And then it's like, wait, I have an electric kiss. Crazy. So that makes you think about how a being kisses you or something like that, how the Most High can kiss you and make you wake up, like the Princess Frog story. All right, so eventually, at the prying the eyes, you're going to start feeling this little thing come up, and then it starts to expand. It goes open and wider, and then these guys here start to get kind of agitated because this is a heat ring. This is your pineal gland rising up to the occasion and to its form. Once it gets up in here, you're going to want it to pass these eyes and ears. That's pretty much where I started feeling relief over just about anything. And I didn't necessarily need to put turpentine in the ears anymore because it's all like burning under the ring, and everything stays like relatively kind of soft under there because it's just warm. All right, so this ring gets up to a certain point, and it feels like a little can, like you're playing kick the can from one side to the other side. And there's light sun and black sun, so they showed you that on the Twilight Zone, the movie. But all right, so you kick the can and you lift it up and you crank that Soldier Boy or whatever, and then it splits open. It busts open like that, and it gets stuck. And then it's so it goes from a little piston to a can and gets stuck like that, and then it turns into what feels like a Folgers can. And it's pushing out of the sides of your ears, and your ears start to pop out, and your face starts to spread out. Very interesting. All right, so this used to be down here. So you just got to keep lifting it, like you're lifting up, like you're pushing a refrigerator up a flight of stairs. And it's real hard and shit, and then eventually you get to the top, and it's easy. So basically, you're lifting this up, your pineal gland will eventually start to stick out into this environment, it seems. Like it sticks out, and then the calcification grows back on top of it, and then it grows back. Everything that's in here is new school. So when you start raising this thing up, it only splits open what's already been open before. So none of that shit goes away. Like it stays there. And there's cracks everywhere. It's like cracks going from the chin all the way up and around. Then there's some coming this way on both sides. Pretty gnarly. When it happens, it rips flesh because it's glued to your pineal gland. So when it rips, you're like, oh, God damn it, what the fuck? And it's like, wow, that shit was like, holy fuck nuts. Like it didn't hurt as bad as it shocked you because it feels like someone's taking one side of your hair and then taking the other side of your hair and ripping it like that. Eventually you'll get used to that, but it still shocks you because you're just like, and then, scar tissue will start to dislodge itself as the pineal gland has created an infected layer between itself and the calcification. Like inside of it, the infected skin is shedding itself and creating scar tissue inside of it. So you'll notice that that's breaking open like this whenever you start dislodging scar tissue, and it's like all black and dark red blood clots and stuff, and you cough it up pretty much. So after a certain point in time, Mr. Cheeks is going to start bringing hooks down, and they look like this. They look like old fisherman hooks and just different kinds. Like I noticed he had like 5 different ones and shit. And I was like, well, what the hell? And he sticks it inside your head like this, and then he spins you around. And it seems like it's her doing it too. Like almost, when I was in the vessel up there, I could feel, my spine go back, and it's like the force is like holding you in place. Like, nah, stay there. So if you're weak, you go back to that sun, he's going to lock you in, and you're just going to be stuck there. And then when you come off, if you can keep your wits about you, you won't even realize how far you went until you unhook yourself. And then you're just like, oh, all right. So the DMT releasing, you get a numb feeling, dizzy feeling, like you want to spin around. This usually happens like immediately after you do some serious cracks, like it makes your body feel like you're going to start spinning. If I get a really good one, it'll take my head and jerk it around like that. And I'm like, oh, that happened once so far. That was, yesterday. So the DMT goes in the heart. It oozes out. You get this thing to crack open really high. DMT comes the fuck out of their whole shit, and it hits you, and it's just like, whoa, and you don't even know where you're at. But you build up to it, so you don't even have to worry about it, because you're just eventually just going to get so used to it. When you're getting this much coming out into your brain, it has nowhere else to go. So it goes into the heart and every other little chakra, your legs, your knees, your loins, everywhere. And then if you get used to it, you can take in enough to where it makes you feel like you're being slingshotted. So when it comes raining down on you, you just start falling back, and then you go, and it makes you feel like you can, or something like that. It's weird. Like that happened literally today, and I'm going to try it again tomorrow. So my main job is to create this lip situation where it brings out the eyes and the ears. The ring passes it. These things start to jostle around there. So you want to open the eyes as wide as you can. Let them start to merge out like a pair of glasses. And then you'll be able to grab it. And it creates like this line right here where it cuts back from the forehead, from the face. You feel like an ability to create a lip. And that's what I'm kind of signifying there too also. You grab under it and you pull that shit up and you just breathe. And you keep your eyes open and you just breathe with your eyes wide open. And this happens. And you literally will start to break out. So that's about it. Pry the eyes open every day. I sit through, I turn the radio on. I play oldies, whatever I like to listen to. And I'll go through about 10 songs at a time. And so now I'm getting up to about 15, 20 songs. Today I'm just up in the ante. And drink turpentine because it undoes all this stuff. In time, in small incremental amounts, you will be able, and this is G turpentine, this is 100% pure, this is in that cut stuff because that shit tastes disgusting. But yeah, in time, that's what I've pretty much gotten from it. And I've gotten a larger penis too. It's getting larger, more, yeah. But yeah, and then with that is becoming a signal that is also transcending itself up here, making this come out. So it lifts up and it gets so hot in there. So you want to do 1 to 3, climaxes pretty much during that. You don't want to save any of it. These people telling you to save that stuff. It's not the same as comparing it when you drain your brain and then this bad boy can move around. So if you can have 3 in a row, you'll get so hot. A lot of soul singers sing about it. The oldies, I listen to it. I'm like, man, he said, just keep stroking. If you're covered in sweat and you're soaking, just keep on stroking. And I'm just like, what? And these are songs we listen to on the radio every day. It's like it doesn't even ring a bell until you're like doing this exactly. Then you're like, oh, but damn it. Now I get the memo. Now that I'm already doing it. It's not like people had a choice to decide whether they want to do this or going into a matrix they have no clue that they're doing. So it's just really interesting.